So, yeah, so as we suggested at the end of our Let's Dance video, before we delay the explosion of David Bowie's crack period as long as possible, we thought we'd look at some of the David Bowie side projects he did throughout the 70s. In particular, this episode, which will be a launch into a retrospective on this artist's career. The artist in question is the late, great New York stalwart Lou Reed.
Louis Reed.
God rest his soul, or not. So Lou Reed
needs no introduction.
The front man of one of the greatest bands of all time, the Velvet Underground. Well, after the commercial failure of Velvet Underground, he became an office worker, like an administrator in an office.
Which is bizarre.
But he kept on trying to have goes at music.
And
in his adventures in the early 70s, he did record an album, which isn't very well remembered, and I don't think I'll ever review it. I never listened to it. I don't think I'll ever listen to it. But most interestingly, he teamed up with David Bowie and Mick Ronson to produce basically his proper solo debut album, a full Lou Reed solo debut album with the classic Transformer. David Bowie's influences felt really heavily over this whole album, from the backing vocals to the glam rock style songs, to the look of Lou Reed on the cover. It was an artistic revival of the great man. He was mostly famous in the Velvet Underground for pushing experimental music, particularly at in my opinion, their creative peak with White Light, White Heat. But the songs on Transform are much closer to the songs that are on Loaded. But in my opinion, Transform is a better album. I think it's a more consistent album, better songs as well. So, Transformer is, in my opinion, one of the best albums of the 70s. It is an absolute classic album. Just every single song is brilliant. Every single song is a win. You could take any of these songs and make them into successful singles. But what's the best thing about Transformer is how it retains... It's got pop sensibilities, but it retains the transgressive nature of the Velvet Underground and the rule breaking. It's a lot more subtle, because these are pop songs, than on something like White Light, White Heat. But the fact of the matter is that those kind of themes and ideas are still
in there.
So when was the last time you heard this album?
Oh, ages ago, at least a year. When was the last time you heard it?
About an hour ago.
An hour ago.
I listened to it after listening to Let's Dance. I was thinking about Mr. Lou Reed, and I thought, oh, I'll give Transformer a whirl. Not heard it in a while. And it's an album that I still love.
It's a great album.
It's brilliant. It's an easy career highlight of Lou Reed. He never makes an album quite like this again, which is again a testament to Lou Reed. So he could have quite easily gone to the studio and made Transformer 2. He didn't. He made Berlin, which is like one of the most depressing albums ever made. Instead. But you know, Transformer was almost like a perfect aligning of stars. Mick Ronson's influence on this album can't be understated enough, really. He had a huge influence over the instrumentation of the album. He added all the he arranged the string orchestra over Perfect Day. He added that element to it.
Makes the song.
It does, really. All the backing vocals of David Bowie on Satellite of Love, where he kind of goes, ah, woohoo. This is a great David Bowie singing album as much as a Lou Reed singing album. But yeah, so what makes Transformer great, in my opinion, is how it retains the transgressive nature of the Velvet Underground while also applying it to pop songs. Most famous one of all is the classic Lou Reed single, Walk on the Wild Side.
I'm glad you said that one. I thought you were going to say Perfect Day for a second there.
Not Perfect Day, no.
Walk on the Wild Side is an amazing song.
Yes.
Has to be done.
Just phenomenal lyrics. Phenomenal lyrics, singing all about transvestite. Or some kind of cross-dresser, or a transgender person, someone becoming a man, a lot of the songs on this album are all about crossing the border between gender. Yep. So Harley came from Miami, FLA. Stopped and hitchhiked for a day. And what was it? Plucked her eyebrows on the way, shaved her legs when he was a she, and said, "Hey babe, take a walk on the wild side."
Amazing lyrics.
Yeah. Harley came out of the island. Yeah, so it retains that real. It's a very smooth song. Yeah. I love the open nature of the production. The kind of the bass line is just classic, and kind of a really soft, like I don't know, you know like them brush sticks that they have for like sort of, it's all that. It's all very smooth, and it's a classic single. Famously as well, you know, she always kept her head even while she was giving head. Famously, that was missed from the censors. Yeah. You know, like in a time when like even Beatles songs could be banned. Yeah. Somehow that line got through. Maybe because the BBC censors didn't know what giving head was, and it became, you know, people were like, ooh, good head. And it became a massive hit for Lou Reed. Yeah. You know, a man famous for like the most uncommercial band at the time was suddenly having like these huge hit songs. Yeah. So the other great song from the album, the other kind of classic one, is Perfect Day. Yeah. Which, again, Perfect Day is another brilliant song.
Anyone who hasn't heard should hear the dreadful BBC charity version. Oh, yeah. Or I can't remember what it was for, but there's a charity version.
And Lou Reed's on it as well.
Yeah. I might even put a link underneath. No, it's beyond terrible and shows what a bad Lou Reed commercial album could have been. Yes. It's saccharine, it makes no sense, like why there's so much, like so smooth, everything's dreadful.
Now there's a lot of ambiguity to the original version of the song, which I like. It could be about spending the day with someone that you love, going around, you know, New York and seeing all the attractions and just having a perfect day. Yeah. Or it could be about, you know, taking heroin. Yep. You know, heroin's your best friend and it gets you through the day kind of thing. Yep. It's up to you to decide. I think you can probably read it both ways. Yeah. Quite easily. So right from the kind of low key kind of like ding, such a perfect day. Feed animals in the zoo, and then later a movie too, and then home. Baby, I love Lou Reed's voice. Yeah. He has a real, like, it's real distinct, it's talky, but there's a lot of melody to it, if that makes any sense. Yeah. And I think Perfect Day kind of illustrates it, the two sides of it really, really well, actually. Because when he launched into the, oh, it's such a perfect day, he sings it really, really well, and he's given it his all. And then he's able to go back into that deep baritone voice. Yeah. And I love it when the second time he sings Perfect Day, he goes, oh, what a perfect day, and his voice starts to break a little bit.
You just keep me hanging out.
Yeah, but like, I like how they kept that on the record when he asked for like a second take. Yeah. Because it almost is, if it wasn't for that, then you could just see it as being a song about having a perfect day with you know, your lover or whatever. Yeah. But instead it sounds more desperate. Yeah. You know, like, you know, you just keep me hanging on kind of thing. It sounds more like he's striving to hold on to something, anything. And that gives the song its dark edge. Yeah. And in particular at the end when he kind of goes down low and he's got the strings playing and he's singing, you will reap what you sow. It has that real dark under edge to it. So you could, like I said, see it as a song about spending a perfect day. Yeah. Or it could be, you know, about taking drugs and just being stuck in your own world, basically. The song definitely has a dark edge to it all. Yeah. But you know, it's a bloody classic.
It's a classic song.
It is one of my favourite songs. I think I do love it. Yeah. I love the simplicity of it. I love Lou Reed singing. I think the lyrics are stunning. And a good thing about Lou Reed's music is, which I'll probably get into definitely a bit more as we go along, is that, you know, you read a lot of rock lyrics just by themselves and they're ridiculous. Yeah. But you can read a piece of Lou Reed's lyrics and you can read it like a poem. Yeah. Like, you read the lyrics out loud and they sound great.
Yeah.
Like you could read it just as a poem.
Yeah.
And it works. And you know, it's really rare that you have that kind of musician.
Skill and talent, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I also feel, you know, he is a brilliant musician. He's not technically brilliant.
No.
You know, he's not like a prog rocker who can play all these stupidly insane chords and these crazy complicated solos.
Bollocks, anyway.
Yeah, bollocks. Yeah, basically, it's a kind of a choosing not to do that is better, I think, and keeping the simplicity is what's important.
Yeah.
So he's able to do songs like "Satellite of Love," for example, which is a very, very basic chord pattern, but make it this huge song.
Yeah.
So basically, you have those two classic songs, and then it becomes like, well, how can you match those two songs?
Yeah.
Nearly gets there.
Yeah.
Not quite, but nearly gets there, because the other songs of the album are great.
Yep.
We all fit in with this kind of the pop sensibility, but with a transgressive nature. So you've got the opening track, "Vicious," which is like that is like a glam rock. That's a glam rocker, definitely.
Yeah.
It's got the famous line of "Vicious, you hit me with a flower." It's maybe a song about Andy Warhol. I think in a conversation he had with Andy Warhol, he asked him like, "Oh, you know, so what's vicious to you?" And Andy Warhol said like, "Oh, it's like hitting somebody with a flower." I was like, "Okay, we'll have that as a lyric." Okay. I mean, Andy Warhol does like. He does have some kind of presence on the album still. A lot of the characters that Lou Reed sang about were from Andy Warhol's factory crowd. You know, people used to hang out in his artistic den.
Yeah.
And there's one woman who I swear she does loads of interviews, and I swear her only job's to talk about like how she was mentioned in Walk on the Wild Side. Like apparently they met once.
Yeah. And
she's one person in the song who travelled across America and became a man basically. I can't remember which way it was around. No, but became a woman. She was a man, and then she made the progression into becoming a transgender woman. She became a woman in the end. And him and Lou Reed her and Lou Reed met up once, and they had like a conversation, and then that was it. She didn't really go into much details. And then basically on Walk of the Wild Side, Lou Reed sang her life story, and she was like, you know. And I heard this song like, looking from Miami, FLA. And she's like, how did Lou Reed know who I was? And that's like her only job.
Jesus.
Just to regale that story.
Laugh at other side, eh?
Walk on the wild side.
Yeah.
So Vicious has a lot of connections to the whole Andy Warhol scene.
Yeah.
Andy's chest follows up as well. I love this song. If I could be anything in the world that flew, I would be a batting cup swooping after you. And then he kicks it. Again, it's all about this need to escape and become something other than you are, and becoming your true self, basically, right?
Yep.
Lou Reed himself, particularly in this time, was a very transgressive guy. He didn't really give a fuck about what, you know, people thought about him or his sexuality or his gender. He was just very ahead of his time. He was just Lou Reed, basically. Yeah. And I think the songs reflect that.
Yep.
And you just have a round of just brilliant songs. You know, I love Wagon Wheel and I'm So Free. New York Conversation. Another highlight of the album is Satellite of Love.
Great song.
Yeah, which is all about a stalker, stalking your girlfriend. But brilliantly, it's done like a upbeat pop song. Yeah. Even though it's about a stalker seeing where his girlfriend goes. You know, Satellite Love, way up to Mars. It almost feels like it could belong on Ziggy Stardust. Yeah. There's a great, my favourite part of the song is where it does like, it has like a kazoo in the background, and it's going like, I've been told that you've been bold with Harry, Mark and John. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday through Thursday with Harry, Mark and John. And he goes back into the main song. It's like this guy's been stalking him and noting down like, alright, so you slept with Mark on Monday, and I just love the imagery of that. Yeah. And yeah, to take something as kind of like, you know, like on Ziggy, something quite silly and ridiculous, like a satellite of love, suddenly takes this kind of dark turn where it's actually, oh, it's about a guy stalking his girlfriend who's been sleeping around. That's a bit, now I feel awkward. Yeah. So The album closes great as well, which is called Good Night Ladies, which is like an umpire song, but kind of like it feels like an end of the night song.
Yeah.
You know, like you've been on a great party, you got smashed, you've done some things you regret, and Lou Reed's just there like on the piano at the end, and he's got his like sunglasses down, his bow ties undone, and like he's like, you know, good night ladies, ladies, good night. It's like this really like you know, I like sleazy songs if you can't tell.
Yeah.
You know, like Driving Saturday by David Bowie. Yeah. That's a really horrible, like, sleazy song. I think Good Night Ladies is a little bit like that. It's almost like a creep trying to come onto a girl. You know, like, you know, good night. You know, trying to be like ultra smooth on the piano and stuff, but
failing miserably.
Yeah. Lou Reed just sounds drunk.
Oh, good.
Which is just great. I love it. It's a real great closer to the album. It's probably the highlight of the album, I think. Yeah. After the big hits, you know, you've got this great song at the end where he's just pissed at the end. It goes on for about 5 minutes, and there's a great saxophone solo as well. So yeah, I mean,
as this is still technically part of the Bowie retrospective, what's his production like?
Stunning.
Stunning.
Absolutely phenomenal production. Yeah. I cannot fault it one bit. The background vocals in particular are phenomenal. Yeah. If you go back and listen to it after this review, listen to Satellite of Love and listen to the part where David Bowie starts singing. He goes, Satellite, oh, oh. Listen to that bit. Yeah. It's amazing singing. And you know, Lou Reed in particular, there's you know that series, that classic album series? Yeah. Most of it's like quite masturbatory. Yeah. But the Transformer one is generally quite affecting because Lou Reed actually goes back and he takes part of the recordings, you know, listens to individual parts, and he's close to tears listening to, like, you know, the string section, but you know, that Mick Ronson did for him basically. He's like, oh man, that's fantastic, oh that's great. Oh, listen to the part where David sings, oh that's just amazing singing. He's clearly a man that loves the craft that he does, but he's incredibly appreciative of collaborators, what other people have done to help him get to this point. It is the best produced Lou Reed album, are the ones I've heard anyway. It's the cleanest, and you know, everything's spaced out beautifully, and everything's great. So
I'm assuming this is a 10 out of 10.
It's a 10, man. It's a perfect album in my opinion.
Keeps you hanging on.
It just keeps you going. Yeah. Makes you want to walk on the wild side. And yeah, I mean, this is the album that basically brought Lou Reed back into the limelight. He became a huge touring star after this. Yep. He brought the Velvet Underground back into conversation. Yep. And this would form a friendship between Lou Reed, David Bowie, and Iggy Pop. David Bowie was able to take two basically washed up rock stars and give them a new lease of life. Yeah. A lust for life. I was going to say that, but I thought no. No. Ultimately, they were both just passengers on David Bowie's
Satellite.
Yeah. And David Bowie's Satellite of Love. Yeah. I mean, some more successful than others. Iggy Pop's 2 solo albums are brilliant. Yeah. But you know, he doesn't really do much with it. Lou Reed, however, uses this as a launch point to just do whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. Which is what's going to make this retrospective really interesting. Is looking at an artist who is incredibly skilled, loves what he does, doesn't always make great albums. No. But they're still interesting even in their failures. Yep. Even something like Sally Can't Dance or Rock and Roll Radio or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah. It's a really obscure one. Even they can be interesting about what he's trying to do. Yeah. I mean, we talked about his final album already. Yep. Which is Lulu, which I really, really like Lulu. It's a great way for him to end his career. But sometimes, you know, you just want to go back. For all the experimentation, all the weird genre experiments he does, sometimes you just go back to Transformer. Yeah. You just put Transformer on and you just realise, wow, this guy was just an incredible songwriter. Yeah. He was just an incredible performer, and he could have made a career out of making these kind of albums forever, basically. Yeah. And he probably would have been great, but that's not the story. That's not what he decided to do, and he's all the better for it, in my opinion. So Transformer, if you're a very specific kind of person, I can imagine this could be quite an important album. You know, if you are like a teenager and you're confused about your gender or your sexuality, something like Transformer would be a really great album, because it is quite transgressive, and it says, you know, there's more than one way to live. Yep. You know, do what you want, walk on the wild side. Yeah. Right? You know, like, this album has the potential to change lives, in my opinion. Yeah. Because of its lyrical content, and how it portrays these characters, because, you know, like, especially in the 70s, when it would be quite easy to demonise homosexuals and transgender people, having a big popular artist like Lou Reed, I was having a vocal point to say, you know, they're people. Yep. You know what I mean? And he sings about their lives and what they go through. There's a really great song, which is all about becoming like a transvestite for the night. Yeah. You know, eyeliner, plastic, factor number 1. Faint my fingernails. Ooh, what fun! You're a sick little girl. It's great, you know. Oh, well, coming out. That's it. It's like an umpire song, all about dressing up as a woman. Yeah. It's great. Yeah. It's great. I love it. I love the album. You should listen to it again.
I will try and listen to it again. Perfect.
So this will be a spin-off, because basically David Bowie doesn't have any involvement with Lou Reed after this. Yep. This will be a spin-off, and it will lead into the Lou Reed retrospective, which is going to get weird.
Yeah. Which one do you want to do next?
Berlin.
Berlin.
You've got to follow up with Berlin. Berlin is even better, in my opinion.
Okay.
Berlin is something else, in my opinion. I think Berlin, in terms of the rock opera genre, I think it's the best one. Okay. Because it's mercifully kept to one disc. Yeah. It's really tight, and the songs are great, and the concept doesn't get too, like, it doesn't take over the songs. Okay. So Berlin, the best rock opera of all time. Yeah. Which we'll get to next time. It's not really a rock opera. It's, you know, it's Berlin.
It's great.
It's just great. But we'll get to it next time. And after that, oh man, you know, we got Sally Can't Dance. We got Metal Machine music, which I've never listened to all the way through. We've got the underrated Street Hassle. We've got his semi-comeback in New York, which he famously said you've got to listen to in one go, or otherwise don't listen to it. We've got, I can't wait to review some of his live albums, where like he baits on his audience and treats them like shit, audibly on the tape. Yep. And then we'll get into his later career stuff. We'll get into The Raven, and his ambient album. Yeah.
Anyone who likes this, we've also already done Lulu. You can find Lulu on here.
The shit's peak of both careers of Lou Reed and Metallica. Yeah. You may find our opinion, well, my opinions, surprising. Yeah. To say the least. So Lou, I can't wait to get into Lou Reed more. I love the man. Cool. I respect him so much, and his music isn't always great, but you know, artistically, he's always been respectable. So
and next in the David Bowie, there's going to be 2 Iggy Pop albums.
Yes.